This school year, the VTSS team has worked with students in several ways to promote and ensure student academic, behavioral, and attendance improvement successes. Things we have done to improve academic, attendance, and behavior. We've made phone calls home. We've incorporated SEL strategies and practices. We've made home visits. We've offered student support days in the building. We've invited students to return to the building. We've reviewed academic data and attendance data. We've also conducted virtual and in-person conferences. Now, we'd like to share with you some of those highlights from our previous professional development topics.
Hi everyone, I'm Stephanie Drace with the VTSS team, and I have just one important question to ask you today. What exactly is VTSS? I'm sure by now you've heard the term VTSS around our school. Maybe you've seen our posters. Perhaps you even know what VTSS stands for. Or maybe you just know us as those people who send you PD stuff every once in a while. In case you find yourself in this category, here's a quick refresher on VTSS, with a little help from some friends. Perhaps VTSS stands for Very Tired Student Sleeping. No, although we all know there is some truth in that. Or maybe VTSS stands for Virtual Teaching Strategy Sessions. No, that's not quite right either. What about vacations to somewhere sunny? Sounds nice, but still not there. Here we go. Virginia Tiered System of Supports. Now that is what VTSS stands for. So, what is it? VTSS is a decision-making framework for establishing the academic, behavioral, and social-emotional supports needed for a school to be an effective learning environment for all students. Some essential components of VTSS include an aligned structure, data-driven decisions, evidence-based practices, student progress monitoring, evaluation of outcomes, and a family, school, and community partnership. Finally, what are the different levels of supports that VTSS provides? First is Tier 1, in which all students receive core or universal support. Next is Tier 2, where less than 20% of students will receive targeted supports. Last is Tier 3, where less than 5% of students will receive intensive, individualized supports. Providing these strategic levels of supports will help ensure the success of all of our students, but that success depends on the involvement and actions of the entire staff and not just the VTSS team. So congratulations, you are now officially re-educated on the meaning and purpose of VTSS in our building. With your help, we can continue to implement this system of supports so we can all be there for our students.
Hello again, Braves family. This is Kristen Jones, and today I'm going to share a brief review of social and emotional learning and how you can continue to incorporate it in your classroom as we finish out the school year. As a reminder, CASEL defines social and emotional learning, or SEL, as the process through which all young people and adults acquire and apply the knowledge, skills, and attitudes to develop healthy identities, manage emotions, and achieve personal and collective goals, feel and show empathy for others, establish and maintain supportive relationships, and make responsible and caring decisions. SEL consists of the 5 key skills you see here, also known as the CASEL 5. These include self-awareness, which is the ability to recognize one's own emotions, personal goals, and values. Self-management, which is the ability to regulate one's own emotions and behaviors. Social awareness, or the ability to understand and have compassion for others' backgrounds or cultures. Relationship skills, which is the ability to establish and maintain healthy relationships, and responsible decision making, which is the ability to make positive choices involving one's own behavior. These 5 key skills are essential for success in virtually every area of life, from education to employment to family and community relationships. Integrating SEL into the classroom not only creates better academic outcomes, it also gives students a firm foundation to operate successfully once their academic career is complete. Indian River teachers are doing an amazing job at incorporating SEL in their blended learning classrooms. Many of you have stopped by my office to share some of the great activities you've been doing with your students, and I love hearing about the positive feedback you've received from your students. Remember, the best way to incorporate SEL into your classroom is by using the 3 signature practices. These include welcoming inclusion activities, which can include things as simple as smiling warmly and greeting each student by their preferred name, or using whole group greeting activities such as the temperature check or meme activities we have used during faculty meetings this school year. The second one is engaging strategies. These should include a balance of interactive and reflective experiences. Examples are things like using mindful minute brain breaks, as well as whole group learning experiences, such as the jigsaw method or think, pair, share. Finally, optimistic closures give teachers an opportunity to close each experience or lesson in an intentional way. This can be done as a class discussion, or students could answer questions on a discussion board, such as, I am looking forward to tomorrow because, or something that still concerns me is. Again, these are effective, purposeful strategies, but they do not have to take a lot of time to plan or implement into your current lessons. If you're looking for more examples of the 3 signature practices, the SEL 3 Signature Practices Playbook is available online for free at the website you see here. And finally, don't forget where to find the previous SEL presentations we've shared with you, which include a more in-depth overview of SEL as well as many additional resources. These can be found in the Google Faculty Share Drive under VTSS and SEL resources. And also, please continue to email me any great activities you find so I can continue adding them to this folder.
Hey there, Braves. What a year that we have been through and continue to walk through together. We thought as the VTSS committee, we could condense some of those tips that we saw in that wonderful Hindsight 2020 video that our colleagues put together in order to help you both continue to succeed this semester and beyond. We always think that one of the things that we are best at as teachers is how to be reflective, learning from our mistakes and successes, as well as our colleagues, in order to continue to improve and serve our students better. So, what have we learned? Well, one of the things we heard most often was keep it simple. And that's not just for virtual learning, but for in the traditional classroom as well. It's taken a lot to learn that sometimes it's okay to do less, but better, and strip our lessons down until we find what's most essential. Sometimes that's what students need, and sometimes that's what you need as well. The second thing is lean on those relationships. We know that a disengaged learner is not going to learn much at all. So one of the ways that we can strive to engage our students better is by leaning on those relationships, finding out more about them, seeking ways to strike common ground, and showing them that you care. If you do that, then you will have earned the right to be heard, and maybe they'll learn something in return. 3, don't be afraid to collaborate. You cannot do this all on your own. We are all here to teach kids and serve our students, and we're a team, even though we might be alone in our classroom. So this year, more than many others, has shown us that we need the strengths of those that are around us, and they need your talents as well. Collaboration is one of the things that we do best here at Indian River, and we should continue that if we're going to continue to make students' lives better. 4, be flexible and open-minded. There have been some benefits that you heard our colleagues talk about to this blended and virtual environment. Well, there are resources out there that can help make your classes and lessons better, and it's okay to try new things and see what's out there to improve your curriculum and your teaching. And lastly, but maybe most importantly, give yourself a little grace. You're doing all right. We've made it this far, and we'll continue to thrive through the rest of the semester and hopefully into the new year. Take care of yourself. Make sure you're taking time every day to be mindful of what you need, just as well as you are for your students. So you're doing a great job. Just make sure you pat yourself on the back. Okay? Well, thanks. We hope you've appreciated these lessons, and we've been thankful to be able to share them with you. Take care.
let's do a quick review on how the VTSS promotes positive behavioral expectations at Indian River High School. Here at Indian River, we have adopted RISE as our school behavioral motto. We are responsible, we are involved, we are safe, and we are ethical. Braves are who we are, and RISE is what we do. Our student expectations are outlined in our RISE behavioral matrix, which everyone should be familiar with and have a copy posted in Schoology and in their classroom. One of our biggest campaigns here at Indian River is to ensure consistency with students in reviewing and reminding students what our behavioral expectations are and practicing with students regularly. Some quick and easy tips for embedding the RISE behavioral matrix into the classroom, whether virtually, in person, or blended. Have students write their own scenarios for behavioral do's or don'ts. You could ask them to come up with one for each of the RISE categories. You could also make the RISE category bonus questions on quizzes or tests. Students could also write short response answers to why categories are important in school and how they can be important in life. Just a few suggestions. What is most important is consistency, practice, and making the RISE matrix a part of your regular routine. Now, let's take a look at some tips from Ms. Halsey Holland on how to incorporate these practices into the blended classroom.
Good morning, Indian River High School. I would like to give you some takeaways and some key points from the teaching the behavior metrics in a blended classroom. First of all, we want to make sure that we establish our norms and set those expectations for our classroom. Also, emphasize the engagement. I know it's hard in this setting, but tell those students to turn those cameras on. It's really hard to make sure that they are engaged when we can't see them. We want to make sure that they are successful in our classrooms and that they are learning the material. Create those connections with those students. Do that in small groups, or you can even do that in one-on-one settings. But you want to make sure that we are creating that connection, and I know that's difficult in this type of situation. Let the students make mistakes. Guys, this has been new for all of us, and we know that the struggle is real. But we gotta be flexible, not so rigid. So have grace. I know you've heard it over and over again, but it's okay for them to make mistakes, and it's okay for you to make mistakes. Let them try again. We also got to redirect those students who fail to meet those expectations that we have set forth in our classroom. And we have to positively acknowledge those students who do meet those expectations so that maybe they'll put a little pressure on those who are not doing what they should be doing in our classrooms. Give corrective feedback. It's very important that the students know what they did wrong and know how they are supposed to act or how they're supposed to change that particular behavior. And lastly, actively supervise the students. I know that's difficult when you can't walk around, you can't see each and every one of the students' computers, but we have to make sure that even in the breakout groups, we are actively supervising the students. You got this, Indian River. We're going to do this together. Have a good day.
As we close out our VTSS professional development sessions for the staff this school year, we hope that we have provided you with some insight on what VTSS is and our purpose and how you can incorporate it into your everyday classroom. We will continue to embed VTSS strategies in our classes and throughout the building next year, hoping to improve and ensure student success academically, behaviorally, and with regards to attendance improvement. Our next steps for the upcoming school year. We're going to use data and input from staff to drive next year's PD sessions. Provide lesson plans for teachers to use in classrooms at the beginning of next school year. We're going to visit with each department to provide VTSS updates and assist with understanding information and the work that is being done. We'll share academic, behavioral, and attendance data with staff, and continue to provide SEL strategies and support students' overall well-being.